Okay, Oak Rovers, this is going to be a video to help you with word problems that set up equations. And this is specifically worksheet number 43. I'm going to do the first and seventh problem on worksheet number 43. So hopefully this will help you do the rest of them on this worksheet. Number 1 says this: the second of two numbers is 4 times the first. Their sum is 50. Find the two numbers. Now whenever I do problems like this, I've got to follow a set of steps. The first step, and probably the most important step for this problem, is to define the variables. And what I mean by that is you've got to have like x is equal to the first number or the second number, and then depending on what the rest of the problem says, you have to define what the other number is also. So if I look at this problem, it says the second of two numbers is 4 times the first. So because of that, I'm going to have x be the first number and 4x be the second number. Now from the rest of the problem, it says their sum is 50. I'm going to write an equation from the rest of their problem. So if I look at this carefully, I'm going to say that 4x plus x is equal to 50 because the sum of the first number and the second number is equal to 50. Now I can combine my like terms. If I have x plus 4x is equal to 50, that's just going to mean that 5x is equal to 50. Now to solve this problem for x, all I'm going to do is divide my side with the variable by 5. 5x divided by 5 will just give me x, but I have to do the same to the other side of the equation. 50 divided by 5 is 10. So my answer for the first problem is going to be x is equal to 10. Now the important thing to remember is you have to define the variables and write that down when you do these problems. So when you do these problems, you need to write x is equal to the first number, 4x is equal to the second number, then write your equation, and then solve it using a two-step process. All these things need to be shown when you solve this problem. Let's look at the next problem and see how it goes. Number 7. Okay, this is what number 7 says. The sum of two numbers is 172. The first is 8 less than 5 times the second. Find the first number. Well, in order to get the first, I've got to do some stuff to the second number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let x equal the second number for this problem. Now it says the first is 8 less than 5 times the second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5 times x, because that's 5 times the second number, and then subtract 8, and that's going to be the first number. And that's the number I'm going to be looking for the answer, because I want to find the first number. Now let's write the equation. So I've defined my variables. I have x is equal to the second number, and 5x, or 5 times the second number, minus 8 is equal to the first number. So let's write the equation. I can write x plus 5x minus 8 is equal to 172. And I can do that because the sum of the two numbers is 172. That means when I add the two numbers together, I get 172. Now let's combine my like terms on the left side of the equation. And actually, since it's a two-step equation, I'm going to make a fence just to remind me whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Well, first I combine my like terms. When I combine my like terms, I have 6x minus 8 is equal to 172. So I have my variable over there on the left all by itself. Now it's time to get my numbers all over to the right. So I'm going to add 8 to the one side to get x all by itself. But if I do that, I also have to add 8 to the other side of the equation. What I'm left with after I do this is just 6x on the left side of the equation. On the right side of the equation, I'm going to have 172 and 8, and that's going to make 80. Now, as you've already seen, I can undo multiplying x by 6 by dividing by 6. So I have to divide by 6 on both sides of the equation. 6x divided by 6 is just x. So 6x divided by 6 is just x. And 180 divided by 6 will be 30. So I have x is equal to 30. Now I'm trying to find the second number, or the first number. I found the second number, or x, to be equal to 30. The first number is going to be 5 times x, or 5 times 30, minus 8. So I kind of have written this down here on the bottom. I'm trying to find the first number, so it's 5 times x minus 8. Well, x is equal to 30, so it's 5 times 30 minus 8. Well, 5 times 30 is 150, so it's 150 minus 8, and 150 minus 8 is 144. Now, if I want to check my answer, I know my first number is 144, and my second number is 130, and if I add those together, I get 172, and that's what the problem says I should get. So I've done this problem, I've checked it, and I have the answers. A lot of them that you're going to do today are going to be problems just like number 7. The key to this is defining the variables properly. Once you define the variables properly, it's really easy to set up the equation and solve it because it's quite a bit more simple than the ones where you had multi-steps, where you had the distributive property on one or both sides of the equation. Hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, make sure you ask in class.